what we are going to talk about today is sort of have an insight. Okay, we're going to have insight, and I'm going to be providing perspective as to what might be going on in their head, or what might be the way they see Taiwan. Okay, we see Taiwan naturally because it's our own country. Okay, so we see it differently. Like, for example, if we travel to America, the way we see America is going to be different than the locals do. Okay, now it's a growing society, it's a growing world. So what we're going to look at today is have a better understanding of how they see us. Now, before I actually begin, okay, it's a big turnout today. I'm looking at a lot of my old students, in which I haven't seen for a while, so it's good to see all of you again. Now, before I actually continue, would anybody like to share? Okay, would anybody like to share? What do you think, okay, are some of the perspectives, or what do you think are some of the ways a foreigner would see Taiwan? How do you think, okay, Taiwan is, or what do you think Taiwan is to these foreigners? Okay, does anybody want to say anything about what you think, or what they think? Taiwan, Thailand, lovely, friendly, what else? What else? I'm sure there's more, okay? Taiwan is crowded, 101. Now, bear in mind, okay, we're not going to be talking about politics. Okay, we're not going to be talking about politics, but because I'm a very friendly guy, so you can talk about anything, but I don't necessarily have to respond or carry on if I believe the issue that we're going to be talking about is too sensitive. Okay, so keep that in mind. So basically, you can say whatever you want to say, and I'll give you a response to that. Okay, accordingly, of course. Now, before earthquake. Before we continue, or before I continue, okay, does anybody not know what my name is? Brad Pitt is not my real name, okay, it's just my name for today. My name was Justin Timberlake last week, okay, and I'll be George Clooney next week, but my real name is Travis, okay, so those of you that are disappointed, I'm sorry. Okay, now, for those of you that are joining my special sessions for the first time, I'm welcoming you, okay? I'm welcoming you. Please feel free to use the whiteboard on the left-hand corner. Now, let's begin, shall we? Do you know any foreigner friends or who have visited or lived in Taiwan? Okay, what do they know about Taiwan, and what are some of the misconceptions? What is the definition of misconception? Would anybody like to try? What is the definition of misconception? Misconception is what? What is the meaning of misconception? Misunderstanding, or a falsified understanding of certain things. Okay, a misunderstanding or a wrong impression. We can also say that's a misconception. Okay, for example, what are some misconceptions? Somebody mentioned how people would mistake Taiwan for Thailand. Okay, what are some of the misconceptions? Some people think all Taiwanese people look the same. Okay, some people think prejudice is bad. Okay, finally a different opinion. Now, in order to maintain a very neutral conversation and a very neutral classes, we're going to be discussing about the bad points and the good points. We're not only going to focus on either. We're going to be focusing on both sides. And yes, Margaret, that's a very good way. Stereotypes. Okay, what are some stereotypes about Taiwan that foreigners have? That's what we're going to be talking about today. So, Taiwan. Okay, Taiwan is the island we all know and love. Okay, we're familiar with Taiwan's history and all the famous landmarks. But that is not the case with a foreigner. Now, in a typical global history class taught in high school in the United States or Europe, Taiwan is probably only mentioned no more than 3 times, and that's true. Okay, for the 3 years that I took social studies back in middle school, Taiwan was actually mentioned only twice. China was mentioned a whole lot more often, but Taiwan not really. Okay, it simply said it was a colony of Holland, okay, and Japan, and so on and so forth. Now, therefore, there are only a few things a foreigner would know about Taiwan, and most of them are misconceptions, or like someone has said earlier, stereotypes. Okay, not types of stereo, but stereotype. Now, in this session, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at Taiwan from a different perspective, or simply in the eyes of a foreigner. Okay? Now, isn't Taiwan part of China? Okay, I'm sure we hear it all the time. Even though Taiwan has never technically been under the rule of People's Republic of China, its historical and current connections, or you can say current ties. Okay, current ties with mainland China makes it very hard for a foreigner to distinguish. Now, what's the meaning of distinguish? The definition of distinguish is what? Tell the difference. Okay, tell the difference. Okay, or know which one is which. Now, it is partly also because of Taiwan's official name has changed from China to ROC, Republic of China. Okay? Now, it's very confusing. The ROC on Taiwan to Chinese Taipei. It's very interesting. When we compete in the Olympics, we are known as Chinese Taipei. We're not known as Taiwan. We're not known as ROC. It's simply Chinese Taipei. Interesting. Now, of course, there is a story associated with each of these names, but who can really blame a foreigner for being